Well, first of all, as a politician, for Tom and I and the rest who are introduced, we live for nights like this, because the rest of the days and nights, nobody says terribly great things about us, right, Mr. Beardy? Shaking your head. I used to say the only way you could get respect as a politician in the United States was to leave the country. I never leave the country, though, at least not on taxpayers' dollars. First off, I wanted to thank everybody who volunteered, particularly the kids, and thank you all for tipping them. They've done a great job. They came at the last moment, so all the kids from Antioch, thank you for being here. You're great. To everyone in the kitchen, Martha, if we can bring Mr. Papini out here at the right moment to thank him. I want to acknowledge my staff, both from the Capitol office and the district office, who are out here. Krista, everybody stand up. But really, I'm very, very lucky to have an incredible staff. Kathy, where are you? Balladat? There she is, our district director, who's been out here almost all day working on this. So thank you. And when we get Mr. Papini out here, we'll stop. He's gone. What a lazy volunteer. He came here at 7 in the morning. It's a good thing he didn't work for me in the restaurant business. I want to thank, first of all, John Joya, who was just a great public servant. He has a huge heart. John and I used to spend a lot of time in Martinez together. I used to like to say we were the good looks and intelligence of the Board of Supervisors, and John always assumed I was talking about him. He's one of those things. But he is a great, great friend and a great public servant. I really miss you, John. And at the appropriate time, and I should introduce the First Lady of West County as well, Jennifer Peck Joya, who's sitting back there, who's also a terrific partner. But at the right time, I really hope that I get to serve with John again in the state legislature when he's ready. Jim Kellogg, look, my voice changed just thinking about it. He's been a great friend and a great supporter, as you heard, to organized labor, but really to working people, whether they're affiliated in the unions or not. He's really a great Californian, and I couldn't have a better friend than Jim Kellogg. Thank you. And Tom Torkelson. I can never get up and say his name without using the Tom Torkelson joke. Everybody knows it's the easiest name to say in the world, but for some reason people say it incorrectly. My good friend Tom Torkelson, not Torkelson. Tom and I were in the basement of the Capitol, I think Wednesday night at about 10 o'clock. And for those of you who follow state politics, Mark Leno, who's an assembly member from San Francisco, who's in a very tough campaign against a sitting senator, Carol Migden over there. It's fairly, I'm choosing my words here, Tom. The teamwork is not so strong in that relationship. They're both wonderful people. But Mark was walking through the garage and he saw the two of us and he called out to us and said, "Oh, an assembly member and a senator who get along with one another." But it's really been to the benefit of this district that we have the relationship we have. It's to the benefit of Contra Costans because it's just makes for such a strong partnership. Tom is the chair of the Appropriations Committee and is an amazingly influential position in the legislature, particularly because of the budget. But mostly about Tom, some years ago, California Magazine did a list of the smartest, the best looking, the best dressed. They do these kind of things in state legislatures. And Tom actually got what I think is the best acknowledgement. He was the person in the legislature that you would most like to see be chair of an ethics commission. So that's Tom Torkelson. Pretty cool. And to all of you, a lot of you come to a lot of these because you are interested in politics, you're passionate about it, you understand it. A lot of you are here because you're friends of those folks. So I appreciate you being here. This is really a wonderful time, given, I think, what's happening in the country, to be interested in politics and public service. In our campaigns, Tom and I, next Tuesday, will have an effect, and I won't bore those of you who don't follow public policy too much, but basically, next Tuesday, I would ask you all to vote yes on Prop 93, or at least read the ballot arguments on both sides. That would change term limits. Tom and I are an example of, I think, what's wrong with term limits. We both serve well where we are in the current positions we are. But the current term limits that were written almost 20 years ago say that you can serve 3 2-year terms in the Assembly and 2 4-year terms in the Senate. Tom will be termed out this year if Prop 93 passes in the Senate, but he's got 2 years left in the Assembly. And because my opponent isn't terribly liked, fortunately, by the Democratic Party and by organized labor and the environmental community.
Or anybody else.
Or anybody else. Thank you, Aaron. I was trying to be nice. We want to keep that seat as a good progressive liberal seat, reflective of Contra Costa. So we're going to switch seats if 93 is defeated. If it is not, Tom will run again, which would be a great thing. He will keep his position in leadership. I will stay where I am. And then Tom Turlington will become the first Contra Costa elected in modern time to statewide office when in 2010 he runs for and wins the Superintendent of Education. So that's sort of where we are for those who are new to this. The campaign itself, we just had an important reporting deadline that came out today. My opponent raised $9,000 all in Sacramento in the last year. That's all he raised. We raised almost $300,000, and 2/3 of that came from the district, from many small contributors. So I think that's a really good measurement of where our support is. Our support came from organized labor, environmental community, from consumer groups. His support came from very large international corporations, from people who want to change litigation so that working people can't fight for their rights. So we think we're on the right side. We're on the side of angels. We have great endorsements in addition to the people who are here today. We have the endorsement of the National Organization of Women already. We have the endorsement of the California League of Conservation Voters. We have the endorsement of the Contra Costa Labor Council, thank you, the Building Construction Trades, many of the locals who are here. We also just got the endorsement of the Sierra Club. So we're in really good shape. After this event, we will have either surpassed our opponent's total. He's got $400,000. So we're behind him, but as of this event, and probably one more, we'll be past him. And we're already walking precincts. We have volunteers. If you don't have anything to do tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning, you can join us at Pete's in Danville. John, want to walk precincts in Danville? It'll be in Kensington. So we've got a great campaign and we'll do very, very well.